All right, so getting back into this. Player 1, Player 2, they each have clones, and those show up in the other rooms, depending. Now, if you don't have two players, it's kind of silly to make this game. So I'm going to make the assumption that there's at least two players in. I suppose I can make it so that if there's no second player, I can fix that as well. So the first thing I'd like to do is make sure that in game setup, which is executing script setup, right now I'm just dealing with player 1 and player 2. I should also put in players 3 and 4. So something I probably want to do is keep track of how many players are currently in the game. So I'm going to create a variable which is num players and play, I believe it's player find. Should tell me how many players are currently in the game. And basically, inside of here, if num players is greater than or equal to 1, I should add in player 2's clone. And then I'm going to put in another if statement. It's greater than or equal to 2. So keep, let's see, 1, 2. This should actually be 2 and 3, shouldn't it? And this one, I'm going to do a check to see if there's 4. And if that's the case, create player 4. Really, I should put in clone. So that's the basic idea here. I'm going to do a similar thing for the next player as well. So here, this guy is going to be the regular player, player 3's clone, player 4's clone. And I basically do the same pattern for the other two players. Now, this will not be the player 3's clone. That'll actually be player 3, and this will not be player 4's clone, but it will actually be player 4. So I'm altering the game setup so that it actually only creates people if there's that many players in the game. It's a pretty simple idea. I just have to go through and manually check which players do I have and where should I place them. So in your game, eventually, you're going to replace this comment with actually creating those things where they're supposed to be. All right. So that's dealing with the player setup. So next, I would like to make it that I can, well, something I didn't do previously is I should make it so that if I have a collision with a wall, I stop. And I'm actually going to put that command in each of my people. Why am I using drag and drop? That's a terrible idea. Speed equals 0. By the way, I only need to put that in people that can actually move. I don't need to worry about the clones, because if their corresponding player moves through a wall, then they're going to move through a wall too, but that shouldn't ever happen. I say shouldn't, but there you go. All right, so now I'd like to make some sort of explosion, which is going to, well, a bomb and an explosion. So the bomb, after a certain amount of time, after the alarm goes off, it creates an explosion object or a series of explosion objects. And anything that touches those gets destroyed. So each player is going to need one of these things, is the trick. So player 1 is going to have his own bomb. And he's going to, the reason why he needs one that's unique to him is that we need to make sure that his clone is placing that bomb in the same spot. The explosions can be generic, because if the explosion hits anything, it's going to die. But I do need to make sure that the bombs themselves, the corresponding players set particular bombs. So I'm going to need an x and a y position for the bombs in order to place those. So I think up here in the constants, I'm going to define those. I haven't added in 3 yet, so I'm going to put those in real quick. Player 3's x, you're going to be 6. Player 3's y, you're going to be 7. Player 4, x. Player 4, y are going to be 8 and 9. All right, so I need an x and a y position for the bomb as well. So I'm going to do player 1 first for the bombs. So I'm just making these B1x and B1y for bomb. I could spell it out if that makes more sense, but that's the idea. So I just need 2 network variables which are going to keep track of the x and y position of this guy's bomb. Okay, so I'm going to make it so that if I press the space bar, I'm going to create a bomb. I don't have an object for that or a sprite, so let me put those in. Bomb sprite. I'm just going to create a new one. All right, so let's see. I want a filled-in circle, like something like that. Fill you in with black. There we go. Maybe a touch of red here at the end. There we go. There's a bomb. I want to make sure that when I place it, it's in the same position as my players. My players are not centered, so I don't want my bomb to be centered either. All right, so now I need an object that goes with that. So I'm going to create an object. Bomb1 object. It has that fantastic sprite that I made in 2 seconds. Okay, so now comes the part where I need to start thinking about how this is all going to work. I'm going to go ahead and create a clone as well. So this is bomb1 clone. This is the object that the clone objects are using. So on my screen, if I'm player 1, I'm going to place a bomb. And assuming I haven't already got one of those on the screen, I'm going to create one of those things. Once I place the bomb, I need to somehow let the other player know to place a bomb on his screen as well. So what I'm going to do is player 1 is just when you do a key press for space, instance create x, y, bomb1. There we go. That's all I need to do, though, is just create a bomb object. Most of the rest of it I'm going to do in the code in the bomb. So when this guy is first created, I'm going to set up some code for this guy. So the first thing I would like to do is, wherever this guy gets created, I'd like to record out in the network that this guy, where the position of this, the x and the y position. So mplay data write b1x x. And similarly for the y position. So b1x is I'm gonna write down my x position. b1y, I'm gonna write down my y position. This is so that the clone knows to place it.